Innovation and Tech Talks with Paul and Ants.
And another episode of the Paul and Ants podcast with Innovation and Tech Today.
That is very true. My name is Anthony, and I will reintroduce the episode in another couple of minutes, as is the custom on this show.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah. How are you today, Paul?
I'm pretty good, man. I heard you had a little bit of a story yesterday trying to return fruit to a supermarket.
Literally the greatest story you're going to hear all week. I tried to return fruit because I overpaid for it. Because organic fruit is this entire conspiracy where they make the fruit no different, but they give it names like Honeycrisp and can charge 4 times as much.
I feel like that's just a kind of apple, though, dude.
I feel like that's just kind of a lie that the FDA tells you.
When did you start buying organic? Well, I do want to hear the conclusion of your story of whether it actually works. But like,
return from the edge of your seats.
that's the cliffhanger.
Yes,
now you have to listen to my boring spiel, and then we'll get back to this exciting, this enthralling story of you returning fruit at the supermarket.
People can wait.
When did you first buy organic? When you first started buying organic?
I don't buy organic. It was a pure accident. I was in a hurry, so I just threw some apples in my bag, and then I ran, and it was $7 for 4 apples.
Did you?
This is America.
You know, when there was like that barrage of documentaries, like Food Inc. and a few others. Do you remember like? Did you start buying more organic food or anything like that?
Because I didn't watch any of those documentaries, mostly.
I did. I definitely did. I actually went, hardcore vegetarian there for a while.
Really?
I guess that's not hardcore. Now it's like you're only hardcore if you're vegan, gluten-free, liquid-only diet.
You only eat, I don't know, grain. What is the thing that you can eat that's like the basest level?
You don't eat grain.
You don't eat grain?
No. Yeah, you don't want to eat anything with gluten.
What do you eat if you are doing that?
Raw fish. Just
so it's the bear diet.
The bear diet.
It's just going down and then just grabbing a fish out of the.
Actually, I bet there is a diet called the bear diet.
The bear diet.
I would love to be on the bear diet.
On the bear diet.
You don't sound like, what are you on the South Beach diet?
Oh,
I'm on the bear diet.
I'm on the bear diet.
Yeah,
They're in great shape. Bears.
Yeah,
they can climb up so high. That Winnie the Pooh was one of the on the low end of bear evolution. He didn't really do he wasn't much of a hunter.
Yeah, he got stuck in that hole. And everything.
I don't know.
It's not a good bear.
No cut to him, but evolutionarily.
Someone made this great mashup. Well, I get a mashup video where I think the title of it was "Bears or Bears," and so it started off with the Berenstain Bears or Berenstain Bears, depending
the alternate
on,
universe
that's right.
that we all live in.
But these kids are walking, through the park, and the Berenstain Bear's mom sniffs the air, and just her eyes fill with rage, and she just mauls these kids, and then just all of the cartoon bears in succession go crazy and start killing people. It's hilarious, and then Winnie the Pooh is involved too. And at the end of the video, Winnie the Pooh gets stuck in a rib cage.
Good Lord.
He's eating some kid, and he gets stuck in a rib cage. I'm like, that's brilliant.
Who made this?
Some genius.
This was the Parks Department released this.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Smokey was in there.
Smokey was.
Smokey was in there.
Smokey is the
he wrings out someone's innards to put out a fire.
Oh my God. The weird thing about bears in popular culture is they're all, for the most part, only wearing partial clothing. Smokey wears a pants and no shirt. Winnie the Pooh wears a shirt and no pants. The Berenstain Bears are the most modest.
They're the most conservatively dressed bears.
When
That's
you really
crazy.
think about it.
Yeah. Well, they teach good etiquette, good manners.
That is true.
So they have to
They are propagandically spreading good manners. I've noticed.
Do you think they were propaganda? I guess.
I'm just kidding.
Well, is it if it's if it's teaching kids how to behave within the approved etiquette of a given society, isn't that a kind of propaganda?
I guess so, but I think good manners kind of is a little universal.
I guess it's not patriotic though, or is it?
Oh, they got a real political there towards the end. Trust me.
Right?
Oh yeah. I don't want to get too into it, but yeah.
So what happened when you were returning fruit at the supermarket?
Oh, okay. Hey, I know everyone's been trying to fast forward around to try to find this story again.
Yeah.
So I get my receipt. I get my bag of apples. And I go to that manager and I say, "Ma'am, may I please return these apples?" And I did.
What kind of
Truly,
look did she give you?
A
Like, not another
please
one?
leave my store as soon as we're done with this transaction and never come in again.
Yeah.
And so there we are.
I'm glad those doors are automatic, so you don't have to touch anything else.
But I really wanted a dramatic, like, open and close too.
Yeah.
You can never leave a automatic door
That's true.
place dramatically.
You can't slam the door.
So,
You can't
no.
thrust it open.
It's
You
like how
have to-
nowadays with smartphones,
Yep.
you can't slam the phone down.
I hate that. I
Yeah.
hate that. I also think that like there's not. I was thinking about this earlier, talking to my lady, and
Yes.
we're saying we're doing the nice little cute lingering goodbye thing,
Right.
and the click off is too fast when you have a smartphone because it's just that one movement of the thumb, and it's not like bye. Dot,
Yeah.
dot, click.
True.
You know, it's bye. Boop. It's
Yeah.
off immediately. You know, it doesn't feel very affectionate when you do that. It feels a little,
true.
little callous, I guess.
Just a little bit.
yeah.
Someday we'll go back to that. Hopefully,
She's got the she just got the new Samsung S8. Samsung S8, great sponsor.
great sponsor.
Just kidding, but
Truly tremendous.
it doesn't have the home button or anything.
Really?
I mean, it has a it's not a real button. You
Yeah.
can touch it.
It's a fake button.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
yeah.
real buttons. I
I do
miss
too.
buttons.
Yeah.
That's why I can't really play games for the most part on smartphone.
What if they tried to do that with a keyboard? You couldn't type.
What do you mean? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no.
like a computer keyboard. There's
Yeah.
no way.
But there's got to be something like that coming out soon.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're doing a keyboard on a tablet,
Yeah,
like a
that's
tablet
true.
face is like that, but no one likes doing that. In fact, they make
No.
like peripheral,
Keyboard tablets.
keyboards
Yeah.
for tablets. Yeah.
That makes sense. I don't know. I don't get that whole thing. I used to have the little slidey phone that had the
Oh,
full
yeah.
keyboard.
Those
I
are great.
loved that thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could
yeah.
type so quickly. I could like work on the bus
Mhm.
and whatnot. But they stopped making it.
I remember that being the first time there was some kind of cell phone coolness gimmick to the way it functioned. I remember
Right.
like in the Matrix, they had those really cool phones where you press the button,
Yeah.
whole face slid up, and it made this cool click,
Yeah,
clicking
yeah.
sound. It was awesome. And in fact, I think Motorola made some of those phones that you could
Right.
buy, and like who knows where. I would love to know where that pile of phones is right now.
Yeah. Matrix, best phones and best jackets in the
but
universe,
great
if we're being
jackets.
honest.
Yeah.
Speaking of cell phones, who's the dude, the Can You Hear Me Now guy,
Yeah.
who controversially moved over to, is he for Sprint now?
Verizon, I think.
He was Verizon, he was Sprint, and then now he's Verizon.
Yeah, I think so.
For some reason, that extremely angers both my girlfriend and my brother. Every time he's on the TV, they both just go, traitor.
Benedict Arnold.
They're both like actually mad that he went over to a different cell
Oh my
phone
gosh,
company.
that's weird.
Yeah.
I get that guy confused with
Jared?
Jared Fogle. Yeah,
I can think of one big difference.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah. Do you think he gets that a lot? Are you
If
that?
I'm-
Aren't you supposed to be in prison?
wait, oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, just like, hey, wait, I thought you were in prison.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
That happens with people that have similar names to criminals too.
Yeah.
There was that. Do you remember that was that terrible scandal, Jerry Sandusky over at Penn State?
Yeah.
But there was a dude named Jerry Sandusky with a G who worked in broadcasting, and so he'd get like death threats
Oh
on
my
Twitter.
God.
He'd get like
Because
just
his
so many
name's on
people
the
saying-
internet.
Because say what?
Because his name's on the internet.
Yeah, because they would just search Twitter and there would Jerry Sandusky would come up,
Wow.
and they would tweet at him just like you're awful, and he'd
Yeah.
have to keep saying like, "Hey, I'm not that guy."
Yeah.
But he didn't change it. He didn't want to change his name. He didn't go for. I would just change my name. Done with it. That's a tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot to be in.
But I really love when people just happen to have the names of famous people.
Yeah.
And they get confused for them, and then they indulge in it.
Oh,
There was this
yeah.
guy, I follow that, UFC stuff, and his name was John Jones.
Yeah.
And there's a very famous UFC guy named John Jones who's in all sorts of like scandalous like trouble all the time.
Right.
And there was one such scandal, and people started tweeting at this guy John Jones, who had
Yeah.
a pretty decent Twitter following because I think he was a journalist or something like that in New York. And he just starts acting like John Jones. Or you know what? Actually, no, he was a comedian, and so he
Yeah.
starts trolling everybody.
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
it was great.
So I think the best you can ever do is just have the same name as like a C-level celebrity, like Dustin Diamond or something like that.
Right.
Screech from Saved by the Bell. You know who Dustin Diamond is, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's actually also in prison.
Yeah,
He stabbed
he
a
really?
guy, I think.
Oh yeah,
He's
I
had
remember hearing about that.
He's had a rough go post.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oof.
I remember when I was working at home a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I watched a full documentary on the making of Saved by the Bell because I was basically a stay-at-home mom at that point.
Beverly Hills 90210.
I never got into
one.
the 90210. I feel like that's a show I would really like.
I don't remember. I think I was too young to actually know what was going on, but I remember the way it looked and like the intro and stuff like that.
See, that was the OC for me, where I
Yeah.
was just kind of catching on to it, but it was still a little too old. Everyone was just too old for
Right.
me. I was still like 12.
Yeah.
I just wanted to watch Sonic X or something.
Yeah.
You know.
And you walked into a Hollister at the mall, and you're like, "Oh, this is that OC thing from television.
This is that thing.
That's what the kids like." Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just remember the dramatic well, I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
I just remember the dramatic season finale of something.
What do you call that kind of fashion at like a Hollister or an Abercrombie?
I think it's California cash. I would call it.
I've got California cash.
If you got that California cash in your
that
back
Kentucky,
pocket.
it's like that Kentucky Derby look for guys, like that very preppy,
Very bright.
upper class.
Yeah. I don't know. I always beelined past Abercrombie straight to Hot Topic and spent the rest of the time there.
Right. You saved a lot of money.
What do you
doing
mean?
that.
Oh yeah, Hot Topic has great deals. Hot Topic is sponsor of the day, by the way.
Hot
as
Topic
you
and
may know.
Samsung, marriage made
Yes.
in heaven.
Oh yeah, finally together at last.
Right. Yeah.
So I didn't really spend much time in any other store. I don't feel like.
Yeah.
Which is weird because when you're a teenager, the mall is just a place to walk around.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I feel like we talked about this last episode, though.
No, I don't think we did.
Really?
No. I mean, I remember that.
Perhaps it's that I'm
I know
getting-
we've talked about it before, but yeah, I mean, like in a small town, like the mall. Mall is everything. It's the
Well, not even
capital.
in a small town when you're a teenager, because nobody else wants you to be there. Like anywhere else you'll go, they'll be like, teenager. Well, even at the mall, they don't want you to be there.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
tough
that's
being a
great.
teenager. Nobody really.
Yeah, I was just thinking like my backpack, I've had it forever. It has a CD pocket. A CD like a CD
Wow.
player pocket on
That
it,
is
like right in the
throwback.
front.
Wait, there
I
it
can
is.
show you.
Yeah,
I can show
yeah,
it to you
like-
right now.
This is really exciting for the listeners at home.
See that?
Ah,
That's the CD
CD
player pocket. And this is for skateboards.
You know what though? I still know more people that both listen to CDs and listen to like traditional radio.
Yeah.
I still know a lot of people that do that, or even like satellite radio.
Well, I have tons of them, and I just realized that I can't even like now easily convert them into audio files because my computer has no CD drive.
Right.
I can't. I would have to go out and buy an external CD drive so I could rip rather CDs onto my computer, which would take like a couple of days. Because remember when like the big like people would actually pay other people to rip their whole CD collection into like a digital library.
Big business back in the day.
And their VHS tapes to digitize those. That was a big business for a while. Yeah.
Because I have so many good VHS tapes.
Well, and their family their home movies.
No, we destroyed all those. We wanted to know.
Does anyone ever watch their own home movies?
We used to watch ours like a lot because we had some like great hilarious. Because my little brother, I remember once in a school play, just was super sarcastic with the script and just like was making fun of other people like in the middle of the performance.
Yeah.
So we'd always go back and watch that, and we had like a lot of good ones. But I feel like we either just don't know where everything is, or I don't know.
I like watching other people. Like if I stumble upon it on YouTube, like. It's like something some kids did for an English class or something like that in middle school or high school, and you watch it, and there's just like this authentic goofiness and this sort of like, I mean, sometimes it's funny because you can actually tell which ones are like genuinely enjoyable. Like the ones where they're trying really hard to be viral and to be cool, like those suck. But then you watch the kids that make the videos where they're making really stupid inside humor jokes for their group, and they're loving it. They're just loving what they're doing, and those are great. They really do come across as like authentic.
Some of one of my favorite parts of high school was just when you do a video project and you'd see other people's, and that wasn't like for them to post on YouTube.
Right, exactly.
That was just to like show the class one time.
Yeah.
And then just everyone would laugh because it was just really inside, and it was really there was something special about that.
Yeah.
And the creative process of doing that was so much fun too.
Well, a lot of we always talk about the angry video game nerd. I mean, he started making movies that way. He'd make movies for his friends.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think Nostalgia Critic, same thing.
Yeah.
They because I think Mara Wilson, because he made fun of all of Mara Wilson's stuff. So on one episode, she like showed him all of his old movies and made fun of them.
Yeah.
Like from when he was younger. I don't know where I was going with that, but
Yeah, I think that's really cool. There's something, also, I think like fan fiction, there's something like that, because I've actually, I know you do like your fanfic theater thing where you go through and look for non-sexual, and that's what I like about it. Like,
because that's easy.
You look for fan fiction that doesn't have any kind of sexuality, and that's really weird that's a big thing. Like that's the cliche about fan fiction.
Well, like the ones that I like reviewed on my personal YouTube channel, have just been weird ones. So like my last one was a full one about Sonic the Hedgehog eating expired chili and then getting sick, and that was the entire plot of it.
Right,
and somebody just wrote it and
they put care into it.
Went with it.
Attention.
You can't tell how serious it is. You can't tell if it's like what it's done. But it's just interesting that exists. And I'm not trying to like make fun of it and be like, this is silly. I think that's interesting that kind of like world exists.
I listened to one of your competitors doing the same thing for Spider-Man. They had made their own Spider-Man story.
Really?
And I was actually looking for something that I just remembered from my childhood, and I just stumbled on the video.
Yeah.
And I was gonna click off, but then like I was actually engrossed, and it was such a well told Spider-Man story, and it made me because you could tell it was written by either a very weird 35-year-old man or a very precocious, and let's hope for the latter, a very precocious like 11 or 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And I want to say it was
in between.
I want to say it was the latter, because if it's 35-year-old, then we would have gotten into the real weird sexuality territory.
All right.
But 11 or 12-year-old, like precocious 11 or 12-year-old, they're trying to use like bigger words, and they're using all this dramatic language,
loquacious,
like dastardly. Like that's
dastardly's not that big of a word.
It is. That was
my first word.
It's an old word though, and it's kind of like an old-fashioned word, but it's also like a great comic book word.
That's true.
It's like you're only going to use that in a comic book.
You're the one that's out of your mind, like that. How dastardly!
I love it. Yeah.
Were you also one of those kids that would during class kind of make your own like comics and do all that? Like,
I actually commissioned a comic once.
Wait, what?
Yeah. My friend in early high school was this like. I think she's still a good artist. But she was great at drawings, and I had this idea where I wanted to have a comic book where Carmen Sandiego fought Waldo.
Naturally,
I felt like that was the greatest unexplored conflict there was.
Before we get to the conclusion, though, personally, who do you believe would win? Well, I guess you commissioned it, so you know.
No, I don't. I let her have creative liberty.
Who do you believe would win?
I would have to go with. I think I would go with Waldo.
See, I would go with Waldo because I feel like he has otherworldly powers that we don't really know about.
Yes.
Because nobody can ever find him. Like Carmen Sandiego, it's because of her prowess, and she's a spy. She's good at getting away.
Waldo's a mystic.
Waldo is a mystic. I feel like he's thousands of years old, and he just like there's a painting somewhere that's aging while he's not. I think he has a mysticism to him.
Right.
He's collecting all the crystals.
He has no agenda.
Yeah,
really.
He's the silent.
He's just everywhere and nowhere. Waldo.
He's a silent anti-hero.
Yes.
Waldo, the silent anti-hero. There's your episode
guardian.
title.
Waldo.
We have to find Waldo.
He must have friends.
Still the best line of the Dark Knight trilogy.
Swear to Waldo.
Swear to Waldo. Are we still looking for Waldo?
Why haven't they made a Waldo movie?
That is a good point. Like searching for Waldo.
Oh, you know what? Actually, though, Carmen Sandiego would be way better suited for a movie.
See, I feel like that's one of those '90s franchises that's like ripe for a reboot. because like Magic School Bus,
Yeah.
we were talking, is coming back.
That's right, yeah.
Power Rangers just got rebooted. I don't understand why.
Well, that's great edutainment right there.
Yeah.
The Carmen Sandiego thing, because it was
Yeah.
teaching geography.
Where's Waldo wasn't really edutainment.
No,
but it was
not at
more,
all.
You know.
Yeah.
Let me think about that. Well, all of the great edutainment should come back, like Putt Putt. I loved Putt Putt.
I don't know that one.
Little purple car. Drove around. He had a dog that was named, I don't know, Corky, something like that.
Okay.
And they just went on adventures.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
click
yeah.
things. It was one of those.
Yeah. Well, the Magic School Bus was like that too with the computer games.
I
Like
never
they-
played one of the computer
Yeah, that you
games.
just click around and they had puzzles and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Carmen Sandiego would be great. A dark, gritty reboot of Carmen Sandiego.
Just Carmen.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you think that the parents from Magic School Bus like knew what was going on, or were they oblivious? Did they? Because there should have been some kind of like
The plot
permission.
twist is that the
permission
kids are
slips.
all dead.
Okay, here we go. Here we go with one of those like theories, like
The kids are all dead, and Miss Frizzle is like Sharon or Karen, however you say that, from like it's like the river Styx.
you're
And
losing me here, man.
She's carrying them across into an unknown world. I'm sorry, maybe
Okay.
not.
Or not. It's
Or
either,
not.
It's either that or not.
The first episode, they go inside. They go inside Arnold. Is it who's sick?
Arnold was the sick one.
Arnold was the sick one.
He's
Are you sure?
constant-
Or was
Yeah,
it
no.
Frankie or whatever
No,
the kid
it
with
was
the backwards
definitely
hat?
There was Arnold. There was who's the girl that always said back to my old school.
I think
Old
it was
school.
like
This didn't happen.
Veronica or something.
And she just would not stop talking
I
about her old
hated that. Yeah, I liked Arnold the best. Arnold was my favorite.
school. Arnold was okay.
Yeah, he's the most character. Without Arnold, there is no
almost-
Magic School Bus.
He should have died in that one episode where he took his helmet off in Pluto.
What's really funny is that he's like the only real scientist because he's the skeptic. He's the one that's like, no, I don't think we should do that.
he was
I
a
don't
known,
think that like that's a possibility.
He was a known atheist throughout the series as well. In that one episode.
What? Wait, what?
He was
In what? Is there?
I'm just
is it-
kidding,
Oh,
dude.
it's like
Of
Magic
course
School
not.
Bus addresses
Yes.
God.
Yes. That would've been an
Oh
interesting
man, yeah, that's something that entertainment
Controversial
doesn't
episode,
do.
yeah.
Wow.
one.
No,
Well,
man, but like, I think that I'm okay with they say it's hacky, of course, to reboot a lot of these things, but with edutainment stuff like Magic School Bus, I'm up for it. You know,
I say
keep
why
that
not?
keep that stuff going. you know?
I don't have a problem with reboots as long as you, I guess, do it right or do something a little different, do something interesting. The
Yeah.
problem with the Spider-Man one, that was the big thing a couple years ago, the
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man, which was kind of just like the first one. They didn't really do anything different enough. They didn't really
No.
change things. You have to just add a twist and like just make it,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, here's
make it
my-
your own.
Here's my idea about the reboot for Amazing Spider-Man. What makes Spider-Man great is embracing his imperfection. Like when the writers embrace Spider-Man as an imperfect human being and
Yeah.
they emphasize his flaws, that's what makes Spider-Man great. Like
Right.
even like when he's a teenager, he's having trouble getting a date. He's
Right.
having trouble, making good grades in his classes because he has to, go out slinging,
Yeah.
whatever. As an adult, he has trouble making the rent. Like
Yeah.
he has trouble with his marriage. Like blah blah blah.
Except Spider-Man 3, where he had no flaws,
Yeah.
especially his dancing.
Right. But like in the Amazing Spider-Man, he's like, people have said that before, but he's like an Abercrombie and Fitch model. He's
Yeah,
like
he's cool.
He's
He's
cool.
good-looking.
He's got a skate. He skateboards.
He kind of gets bullied, but then he just beats up the bully.
Dude, he's like he's like 6 foot something. You know,
Yeah.
he's like a good looking kid, and like
That's a good point.
yeah. I mean, there's you don't get the flaws like you do in the Tobey Maguire one, where it begins with him missing his bus to school.
Yeah.
And everything about that day is just horrible.
Yeah,
He gets
yeah.
bitten by a very like
That was the
What
least
should
bad
be a-
part of the day.
what should be a deadly spider.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I feel like that the new one, the new kid kind of fits that mold a little bit better. I think he's a good mix of like,
Yeah.
he's got the funny, because Tobey Maguire didn't really have the funny.
I
You know,
agree with that.
He,
Yes.
he wasn't really like snarky enough.
Yeah, he didn't have that clout, and they did have some good lines in the reboot, the
You're
Amazing
out of
Spider-Man,
okay,
where
no. I thought you were talking about you're out of your mind, you're out, Gobby, out of your mind.
out of your mind.
Best line of the series. No,
Wrong answer.
Amazing Spider-Man did, especially when he's like messing with the like criminals
Yes.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
That had some good lines.
Yeah, no, I like that. You know, my dad actually explained that to me when I was a kid because I was like, I asked my dad. My dad was like a comic book nerd.
Really?
And he used to like that's how I kind of like learned to read well. Like
Yeah.
was him like bringing home comic books
Yeah.
after work, and he would read comic books to me. And Spider-Man was the first one that he read to me.
Yeah.
Like I asked him like why Spider-Man was always making jokes, and he said, "Well, Spider-Man has a really hard life,
Yeah.
and when you have a really hard life, you're gonna make more jokes to get through it." And I'm like, "That's so like
That's
as an
true.
adult, I'm like, that's very true. Like that's exactly what Spider-Man's all about."
So it's weird when I brought home Spider-Man comics. My dad just said, "Why don't you learn how to throw a baseball?" And I cried. Now then, no, that's a very true part of life, and
Yeah.
I think I was actually talking to somebody about that the other day. Just like you do, your flaws like force you to kind of like grow that way. And
Yeah.
grow. You get a more robust personality.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why they always say, just like be careful who you make fun of in high school because they'll come back like all
Sure.
with radioactive spider powers.
Right, exactly. That's so true.
Yeah.
He was picked
'cause-
on it. It
Because what
caused
happened
him
to the
to.
bully in Spider-Man?
Was his name Flash Thompson?
Flash Gordon? No.
He ends up working as a garbage man.
Oh my god!
I actually thought,
And then he becomes the evil villain.
in
the garbage man.
Toy Story 3, didn't they make the bully kid they made him a garbage
They
man?
did. That's true. That's very true.
But what sucks about that is that kid was like from a broken home, I think, and they don't
Wait,
they kind
was
of
he?
imply. I don't know. I feel like they imply that he's like his mom's the only one around. Like his house is all
Yeah, it's
messed
the
up.
Same with Andy, though. Do you ever see his dad? I feel like
Oh,
you only see
wow.
Andy's mom.
Oh wow, you're right.
You barely even see Andy. to be
That's
fair.
true. Yeah,
Maybe Andy never existed.
dead.
He's the toy, and the toys.
if you
are
want
the
to
real
hack
ones.
film theory, you always just say the character's dead the whole
Just-
time.
Yeah, I know. You can say that with literally any movie. and
Yeah.
people will be like, "Wow,
Oh my
you
God.
think so? Really? You mean Tommy Pickles from Rugrats was dead the whole time?"
Yeah, I mean, I always used to call it like he's the guy.
Yeah.
Like that twist, and I used to hate it. And sometimes even when it's done well, I remember there was that Scorsese movie, Shutter Island. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I didn't like it,
Really?
because it was a he's the guy ending.
Ah.
It's like, oh, he was crazy the whole time,
I
like,
like
I was
that.
like, I saw that coming.
Ah,
Like because that's the first. That's my go-to. That's the first thing I think of. Like, I'm gonna be like, oh, he's dead, or he's ever since The Sixth Sense. Like that's gonna be my go-to for a big twist ending.
Yeah.
He's dead the whole time, or he's crazy.
right. Okay, fair enough. So any movie you've seen, so you saw Wall-E, and you were just like, so okay, he's crazy, right?
Yeah,
This little alien, he's
yeah,
a robot.
he's crazy the whole
This little
time.
that movie's
No.
great, by the way.
Yeah. Oh,
Wall-E.
I love Wall-E.
A little ahead of its time.
Definitely. I mean,
Because now we're full into automation and things being done for us. And,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's interesting.
we're all fat.
And we're all. That just sounds funny. Anywho,
I love that scene where they play the 2001 Space Odyssey theme, and like the fat captain gets up, and it's like a triumphant humanity moment. He fights the robot.
here's the thing. I watched that movie when I was just getting all 4 wisdom teeth out.
Oh wow,
So I was on heavy meds.
that's the best time to
So
cook.
I don't
watch
really
Wall-E.
remember that part. If I
Yeah.
can be honest. But I remember I was just sitting there with my eyes going 2 different ways and drooling and saying, "This is good." So
This is good.
this is good.
What's funny is that there were people out there not on medication who were watching the movie like that.
Yeah.
This is good.
This is good.
Me like
Insert movie here.
that's what defines
me
it, right?
like Furious 8.
That's
Okay.
why that movie. Huh?
I don't
Interesting
know.
interesting choice.
That movie might have been fine. I don't know it because that's just big blockbuster.
No. I totally. It was a rhetorical question, like because I was like, yeah, that's a. I mean, I think they are well done movies, though.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
have no problem with those movies, to be honest. Like I the problem is now we have such a high ever since like The Dark Knight,
Yeah.
we want our blockbusters to be super smart. We want them to be like twists and turns all the time, so that when just a regular blockbuster that everyone would have loved like 20 years ago comes out, we're just like, oh, well, that's below. I don't know. That's interesting how that works.
That's true.
I can't tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
How are like I don't even know this, but how are like Arnold Schwarzenegger's movies like received? Because those like Arnold Schwarzenegger, look through his filmography.
Yeah.
The blockbusters are just great. They're just great action movies.
Absolutely.
Some of them are terrible.
Right.
Like, you know, a lot of them are fantastic.
How do they do like current ones?
Well, how are they like critically reviewed?
That's an interesting. Well, I didn't realize that so many movies I loved from like the '90s were critically panned.
Like Hook.
Like Hook, Dumb and Dumber. I think was pretty. I think that has like a 40%.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
I think even Caddyshack has a pretty poor.
Oh come on. Caddyshack.
I swear, if you look it up right now.
Okay. Wow.
I know we don't look things up on this show.
Don't look things up on the show.
I'm looking this thing up.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Our stupidity.
How about
must
that'll
be
be
maintained.
the cliffhanger for next time?
Oh, there we go. How was Caddyshack reviewed? We will talk about it next time.
We will talk about it next time.
I love the cliffhangers on this show.
Yeah. What was the last week's?
Well, we had an inside cliffhanger for this episode about like whether your fruit, like whether you can return it to the supermarket.
You can return apples. I don't know the actual rules on it though.
Do people call it the supermarket anymore? Because every market is a supermarket, unless you go to some bodega.
There's gotta be some, right? What even is a bodega?
A bodega is like a convenience store inside the city with like no gas station or whatever.
You are right. That is also an anagram for Dagobah.
Dagobah.
Is there a double meaning there?
It's not only its exact anagram, but yeah, it's kind of like
I'm pretty sure it is.
Dagobah.
Dagobah. Run to bodega.
Run to boat.
What if that was just a mistranslation by
he
Ghost
just wanted
Obi-Wan?
some snacks.
Yeah, he was just like, well, go get some snacks before you fight Vader again. And he's like, oh no, you talked to Yoda, that idiot?
I
no,
wanted some ice cream.
You talked to that strange old man Yoda. What were you thinking?
Hoth is a great place for ice cream. There are great ice cream purveying bodegas on Hoth.
We're getting off track here. We didn't have a track to begin with.
There's no such thing as a track.
What other
here?
Yeah. Would they have snow cones in Star Wars?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those universally like acceptable treats if they have the ability to make snow. You know what? I bet they don't have
What?
in Star Wars ice machines. You never see someone drinking anything with ice.
You don't see people drinking almost anything.
No, you don't. Which is weird.
When do you? You see people. You might
the
see
blue.
people
We
eating.
talked about in the first episode.
Just blue.
The blue milk was the only time.
You don't see anybody like taking a sip of water or a belt of scotch.
That is so true. Okay, so on Dagobah, like Luke does have like some food.
Yeah.
And he does have a sip of soup in Return of the Jedi. In Yoda's little hut.
In Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right. Yes.
Sorry, I'm just glad that I.
Yes, good food.
And he has the little bar thing.
Right. But they don't drink that much. Why not?
Wow.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe we evolved.
Do they? Oh, yeah. They just don't. Yeah.
Now we're getting to the real topics.
Why are they?
Why does nobody drink in Star Wars?
Why are they moisture?
But then again, no, Cantina bar. Everyone.
Does Luke actually drink something?
He's not of age, is he?
No, but he does because he's.
Do they have a drinking age in Star Wars?
He impolitely tugs on the back of the bartender's jacket and's like, "I'll have one of those."
Oh, he's one of those guys.
I'll have one of those, and then
that's the worst guy at the bar.
Yeah,
Luke is that guy.
He deserves to get assaulted.
Luke's one of those guys that would just like, hey, do the this thing. Oh man. Ugh.
That bar is really understaffed in that movie.
There's so many things.
So many people.
You have the smoking wolf thing, and you have.
How do you deal with all that?
I don't know. That's
Buffalo Wild Wings is more prepared. They're more prepared for their clientele than that place is.
Buffalo Wild Wings and the Cantina Bar get compared quite a bit, but they have like 6 band members playing and 1 bartender.
That's true. That you see. I mean, it's kind of hard. You don't know what their uniforms are like. It's not like Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's true. Well, there's not exactly like a dude.
You can't
in there
easily point them out. Like that's one of those.
But I also don't think you can murder a man in Buffalo Wild Wings and get away with it. Like
that's what you think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a story there. There's your cliffhanger.
That's right.
Paul confesses to murder on the next episode.
It's not really murder if it's in a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay, that's true.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah. That's true. I think that's if there's no better place to end, then that
is the high point.
Yeah,
joking about
joking about murdering and the old Buffalo Wild
the
Wings.
old Buffalo Wild. You're never gonna get
Ye
a
old Buffalo.
You're never gonna get a ye old for Buffalo Wild Wings. It doesn't matter if it's 100
No.
years from now and that thing's still around.
Me and my grandson someday. I'll say, son. I don't know why I'm calling you son.
Son,
It's not the right thing
the
to call
old
you.
Buffalo Wild.
But I'm losing it.
You'll be delusional.
I'll
so
be very
it'll be okay.
delusional. I'm delusional now, and I'm in my 20s.
I just feel like it's a good. I feel like I'll regret not being able to play a harmonica.
You know how long I've been
At that
waiting for somebody to say that?
At that age, like it's a problem.
You can play harmonica. Anyone can.
No, but you have to be able to have a tune. You know, like
That's
to be able
true.
to play a song on a harmonica.
I used to know 2 songs on harmonica back in 2006. This is a great story. It was Neil Young's Heart of Gold, which has that great harmonica riff.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, Karma Police by Radiohead. I could play on harmonica.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Good mixture of the two.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That was good. Okay.
No, that should have been the cliffhanger. What 2 songs can I play?
What 2 songs can you play? No, wait, it's Caddyshack. Caddyshack.
Oh, Caddyshack on Rotten Tomatoes. What's your guess?
You know, it's not really a cliffhanger because people can immediately Google it.
It's a bit of a cliffhanger.
You know what? Don't Google it.
Don't.
Okay.
Or just, I don't know.
Just tune in next
Yes.
time.
Tune in next time. Turn off your internet for the next week.
That's not that's a great thing that you can't do that. You can't do that as a cliffhanger
What?
because like it's accessible information. It's not like what's going to happen to.
All right, what did I have for lunch today? There's your cliffhanger.
There you go. Okay, fantastic. No one knows.
Okay,
You
nobody
can't
does
Google
know.
that.
Well, you do because you saw it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I forget though.
Oh, so it's a cliffhanger all around.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
people.
We will see you next week.